Hello, welcome. I received a video request from a viewer who's looking for tips on how to decorate your home on a budget. And I mean, who among us is not trying to stick to a budget? I think some people maybe assume that when it comes to us designers that we spare no expense when it comes to decorating our own homes, but I can assure you that for me, that is not the case. I am always looking to save whenever and wherever I can. So I am here to share with you my 10 best tips on how to decorate on a budget, and make sure you stick around until the end because I might just have a bonus tip for you as well. So let's get started. My first tip, buy secondhand. If you have been watching my other videos, this probably does not surprise you because I am always talking about all the many great reasons for buying secondhand and vintage. And of course, one of the great reasons is it can save you money. But you do want to be cautious, you do want to do your homework. Not everything that's secondhand is always a bargain. Google image search is actually a great tool for this. By searching comparable product images, you're going to get a sense of what else is out there and what kind of price points you can expect to pay. Another suggestion I have for you regarding secondhand is, do you have access to any family heirlooms? And I use the term heirloom very loosely. I mean, these do not have to be priceless antiques. But I know for me, when my dad was downsizing from our family home, he was more than happy for us to take anything that we wanted. I actually ended up inheriting my grandmother's dining table, which is a beautiful table, but not really my style. But I'm working on finding a way to incorporate it because I do love it and it is a piece that's really special to me. So maybe you're in a similar situation and maybe there are items that you had never even really considered because your family's taste is very different from yours. But can you get creative? Is there a way that you can work with these pieces? Which leads me to my next tip. Tip number 2, embrace eclecticism. You've probably also noticed that I talk a lot about mixing design styles. I love a varied and layered interior. And another benefit of an eclectic style is that it broadens your options. You're not going to be pigeonholed to one specific design aesthetic. So maybe a piece that you never would have normally considered could actually be an interesting and unexpected addition to your space. Tip number 3, buying new is okay too, which totally rhymes and I did not intend for that to happen. But I understand we can't all buy everything secondhand all of the time. And if you are purchasing new while on a budget, that's often going to mean furniture chains or big box stores. And that is okay. Do I have IKEA in my home? Of course I do. There are some really great finds there. And the more that you learn about interior design and develop your personal design style, the better you're going to get at spotting the good stuff when you come across it. I do have some tips to keep in mind if you are going to be shopping new. The first being, don't buy everything all from one store all at one time. You do want to vary your sources. Secondly, try to avoid the really trendy stuff that just could end up looking dated. Look for clean and simple designs that are going to feel more timeless. And also get creative. See if there are some ways that you can change up the look of your pieces. You can make an IKEA sofa look more custom by purchasing slipcovers from a company like Bemz. Or if it's case goods, maybe you swap out the legs or the handles. Companies like Pretty Pegs have really cool options for both. The power of paint. Never underestimate the power of paint. It is an easy and affordable way to update a piece of furniture or cover a really old wood floor. You could even change up a staircase railing. If you didn't catch my last video where I talk about using color in your home, you might want to go back and check that one out. I give lots of tips and ideas about working with paint, so I will link that video in the description. Camouflage, hideous tile. If you are a renter, or even if you own your home and you're just not in a position to be renovating right now, there are lots of products out there that can help you cover up really bad or even broken tile. I have used them myself. I had this really dated brown tile in my half bath and I was really tired of looking at it. So I bought some peel and stick white mosaic tile to cover the counter splash and some of those floor tile stickers to cover up the floor, and it looks so much better in there. And I mean, it's not a permanent solution, but it was a very easy and affordable temporary fix until I am ready to renovate that room. And since we own our home and I have no intention of ever going back to the hideous brown tile, I was also able to use grout tint pens to refresh the color of my grout to something that worked better with the tile stickers. Updating your kitchen. A kitchen renovation can be a huge job and also a very expensive one. So before you go gutting everything, let's consider some other options that are more cost effective. So first of all, analyze what is or is not working for you in your kitchen. Is everything a problem or just certain elements? Maybe your cabinets are fine and you can just get new countertops and a new backsplash. Or maybe a dated hood fan could be replaced for something more interesting and modern. Sometimes just swapping out hardware, lighting, and plumbing can have a huge impact. Or if you like the look of open shelving, you could try removing your upper cabinet doors. Now, if your cabinets are the issue in your kitchen, is it a functional issue or is it purely aesthetic? Because if the layout is working for you and if your cabinets are in good shape, you could consider the option of refinishing or refacing. So refinishing involves a new painted finish over top of the existing finish on your cabinets. And if you are handy and you have the time and the patience, you could absolutely save yourself the money and do this yourself. But there are professional cabinet refinishers out there as well. Now, if you really dislike your door style or if your cabinet doors are just not in good shape, there is also the option of refacing, which involves putting new cabinet doors and hinges on your existing cabinets. Now, this does tend to cost more than refinishing, but it is far more affordable than replacing all of your cabinets. If you are looking to replace all of your cabinets, there are ways that you can save money there too. Instead of going the fully custom cabinet route, you could look at getting your cabinet boxes from somewhere like IKEA, and then still having a very custom look by purchasing doors for those cabinets from one of the many companies that makes cabinet doors to fit IKEA boxes. So somewhere like Semihandmade or Kitch. Okay, let's talk about lighting for a moment, because lighting can have a huge impact on your space, but light fixtures can be very expensive. Now, I'm gonna let you in on a little industry secret. Popular light fixtures get knocked off all the time. It is very common for a bunch of different manufacturers to make very similar fixtures at a variety of price points. So do a little research, see what you can find. I do caution you from going too cheap with your lighting though. You don't want to be purchasing anything that isn't up to code in your area and could pose any sort of electrical hazard. And when it comes to lamps, don't be afraid to get a little creative. Sometimes a thrifted lamp that has an interesting base just needs a new shade. Or maybe you could even DIY something. There are so many lamp DIY ideas out there, so maybe do a little hunting and see what inspires you. Affordable art. There are lots of ways that you can go about obtaining affordable artwork. Etsy, of course, is an obvious one. There are lots of very reasonably priced prints, or you can even purchase digital downloads that you can print yourself. And this is a great way of supporting emerging artists or small businesses. I myself have an Etsy shop where I sell digital download art that I have created, and I will link it in the description in case anybody wants to check it out. Shameless plug over. Now, another great source of affordable art is thrifted and vintage art, which is a great way of finding unique pieces at reasonable prices. I recently bought a vintage poster from a local antique store, and it was $9. I also found an original painting at Goodwill for $40. So if you're willing to do some hunting, deals are out there to be found. Another great option if you really want some large-scale art that's very reasonably priced is sources such as Society6 that sell tapestries. So what you can do is just build a very inexpensive wood frame and stretch the tapestry over it to create your own stretched canvas art. There are lots of tutorials online that will show you how to do this. Although if you're willing to spend a little extra money because you want to maybe go a little less DIY with this, you could also look into buying artist stretcher bars, so they're already prefabricated and easier to put together. Now, another great option for affordable art, if you're feeling at all handy, is to create your own. Stores like HomeSense sell artist canvases at very reasonable prices. And if you're not artistic, you can just keep it really simple and graphic, like these two pieces that I recently made for my sister. My next tip is to use pillows and throws. Decorative pillows and interesting throws can completely transform the look of your sofa or totally change up the styling of your bed. If you already have some decorative pillows that you've grown a little tired of, save yourself the money on new inserts and just buy new covers for those existing cushions. In the bedroom, layering up a variety of shams, toss cushions, coverlets, and bedspreads can completely change the entire look of your room. Prefab drapery. Now, if you can afford beautiful custom drapes, then by all means go for it. But if you're looking to save money, prefab drapes have come a long way, and there are a plethora of options out there. The key to making them look good really is in how you install them. So you want to hang them higher than your window, and you want to bring them all the way to the floor. You may also want to extend them beyond the casing just to give the illusion of a wider window. Now, as far as installation type, I would usually recommend you avoid grommet or tab styles. They can look a bit cheap when they're not well made. So a hidden tab, a pinch pleat, or a ring style install is usually going to be a higher end look. And use nice, expensive looking hardware even if it isn't. Okay, time for the bonus tip. How to save money on area rugs. Now, the most affordable area rugs tend to be synthetic fibers like polypropylene. And while they are less expensive, they also don't wear as well. So you might be saving some money up front, but it might end up costing you more in the end because you're probably going to have to replace it sooner than if you had a rug that was natural fibers. Another thing to know about synthetic rugs, if you happen to have vinyl flooring, a synthetic rug can cause your floor to yellow. So this is also something you might want to keep in mind. The gold standard for natural fibers is typically wool, and yes, wool rugs can be very pricey, but there are some affordable options out there. I would try looking at some of the bigger online retailers. You can narrow your search by fiber content, so look at their wool rugs and then sort those selections from lowest price to highest price and see what's available. So other natural fiber options for rugs are things like jute or cotton, and those are typically done as flat weaves. Stores like IKEA are great sources for rugs like this. So what do you do if you have fallen in love with a rug that isn't in your budget? Think about possibly purchasing that rug in a smaller, more affordable size, and then layering it over a more basic, affordable rug, like something in a jute, for example. That way you're still getting the impact of that rug that you really want without sacrificing proper proportions for the space. All right, guys, there we have it. All my best tips on how to decorate your home on a budget. If you found this video helpful and you would like to see more content like this, maybe think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. That would be awesome. Thank you for joining me. I hope you'll join me again for the next one, and bye for now.